Give it up for Miyo Yamauchi!
Hey Yamauchi, do you know why these stairs are so steep and narrow? My boss and I are visiting our new client in Kyoto, Japan. Their office is at the top of these stairs. Look at the stairs. They are so steep that you can't skip steps. And you can't go side by side because they are so narrow. One person at a time. Let's say you are at the top of the stairs and see attackers charging at you. What would you do? You just need to kick the first person off. That's how you prevent anybody from making a raid. Listen, Yamauchi, there is another reason. The stairs are so narrow that you can't take a samurai sword. Imagine killing somebody with a machete in a car. Can you do that? No, you can't. You can't even move such a big knife. It's a confined space. That's how they protect their territory and minimize the damage. That's brilliant. It totally makes sense, right? Wait, who carries a samurai sword? Yakuza? Japanese mafia? Is our client Yakuza? I'm a computer programmer. We deal with all kinds of businesses, like mom and pop stores, corporations, schools, and government. But Yakuza too? Yakuza is similar to Italian mafia. They may not use a gun. They just dump people in the concrete. There are so many buildings in Japan that may have bodies in the foundation. Just saying. And if you want to leave the family, you may lose a finger or two. How do I know? Because I watch all the Yakuza movies and TV shows. Yakuza, it is said that the name came from numbers. Some Japanese names can be translated to numbers. For example, my name, Miyo, is 3 and 4, which doesn't mean anything. Yakuza is 8, 9, and 3. And the numbers came from a card game. The sum 20 is the worst number in the game. It means you lose. Some people say that Yakuza is losers. They do nothing good to society. But I disagree, because I was saved by Yakuza once. After graduating from high school, I started living alone in Osaka. Living alone, it's so grown up. When somebody knocks on my door, they are not there to see my mother, father, or brother. They are there to see me. I get my own visitors. So whenever the doorbell rings, I answer. But soon, I stopped doing that because they are not fun. They are either sales or religious people. So I get good at profiling. I check them out through the peephole before opening the door. But one day, I opened the door for a guy because he doesn't fit in any categories. He's young, probably in his 20s. He said he sells futons. Futon? The comforter? Oh, I don't need it. I'm happy with what I have. No, thank you. But he keeps talking. Then he asks for a glass of water. Oh, I'm sorry. How rude I am. Please come in and have some tea. He's fun. He can carry a conversation with a college kid. But 30 minutes later, I start feeling bored. So I tell him I need to go. But he keeps talking. An hour passed. I start feeling annoyed. I can say get lost to strangers on the street, but not here. This is my apartment. So I tell him I really, really need to go. But he keeps talking. 4 hours passed. 4 hours. I'm serious. My head is pounding. My visions are blurry. I'm exhausted. I just want him to leave. Finally, I realized that the only way to get rid of him is to buy a stupid futon. I know. So I sign up. After he leaves, I'm sitting on the floor, leaning against the futon that is still in the box. Who needs $1,000 futon? I know. I don't. But the damage is done. If I keep it for 10 years, it's 27 cents a day. It doesn't sound too bad, right? Okay. I can justify my stupidity and laugh it off. A phone rings. It's my brother. So I tell him the funny futon story that just happened. I just want to make a joke and overcome the trauma. But he isn't amused. Miyo, don't you dare to keep the stupid futon. But I already signed the contract. It doesn't matter. Call the consumer hotline for advice. The law will protect you. He's adamant. So the next day, following his advice, I called the consumer hotline and sent a certified letter to the futon company. They arranged the pickup immediately. I'm relieved how quickly it was resolved. So when the doorbell rings, I answer and regret it. It's the same guy, but his face and attitude, everything was different from the last time. I could tell that he's not here to pick up the futon. He's here to scare me off. He raises his voice and tries to hit me. One of the swings hit my chin. Tears rolled down my cheek. No, it didn't hurt. I barely felt it. It was just my defense mechanism. Those scumbags need to feel superior. He's satisfied with my tears, but still, he lectures me for an hour and leaves without the futon. The next day, my brother calls again. Miyo, be ready. They're gonna pick up the futon tomorrow. No, I don't wanna deal with them anymore. Don't worry. Now, you are untouchable. Untouchable? What do you mean? Miyo, do you remember Mr. G from the yakitori restaurant? He used to be Yakuza. Mr. G, the owner of the restaurant? He was Yakuza? That's so cool! Wait, doesn't he still have 10 fingers? You watch too much TV. And the next day, the same guy came, but he was different this time. He was not as scary anymore. He was polite. He apologized, picked up the futon, and left in a minute. And the money was back to my bank account instantly. Wow, it's over just like that? What happened to the futon guy? His attitude was night and day. Did Mr. G torture him? If he did, I think it's fair. Listening to him for 4 hours was a torture for him. I have to thank Mr. G. So 3 days later, I go to see Mr. G at the restaurant. As a token of appreciation, I bought an expensive sake, $100. Expensive for a college kid. Moments later, Mr. G arrives with his entourage. 2 guys are stationed at the entrance to keep their eyes on their surroundings. Mr. G doesn't look scary though. He's a regular guy, friendly, old, maybe in his 40s. He says, I hate bullies, especially the guys who raises their hands against women. I just can't stand them. On my way to get here, I saw a guy hitting a woman. So I dragged him out of the car and beat the crap out of him. Is that funny? So, Mr. G, what did you do to the futon guy? That slime ball? He's such a wimp. He just freaked out when I told him my name. And when he leaves me a phone number. Call me anytime. When somebody bothers you, I will teach them a lesson. That was the only time I saw Mr. G. But even after that, he called me a couple of times to check on me, how I'm doing. In Japan, we seldom see or notice Yakuza because they are hidden in society. Some people say that we don't need them, but I think we do when laws don't protect us. Looking at the steep, narrow stairs, I whisper, "Hey boss, is our client Yakuza?" "Yamauchi, that's something we don't need to know about." He chuckled. We lined up and going up the stairs one at a time, hoping that nobody will kick us down, because there is no way I could pull my sword. Thank you.